In early 1942, the Pacific War was slipping out of Allied control. Japanese ships moved freely across the ocean. Convoys carried soldiers, tanks, food, and ammunition. Every successful convoy made Japan stronger. American bombers tried to stop them. They failed again and again. From high altitude, bombs missed moving ships. When pilots flew low, enemy gunfire ripped their aircraft apart. Losses were heavy. Morale was low. Many officers believed nothing could be done. But one man refused to agree. His name was Paul Irvin Gunn. Most people called him Pappy Gunn. A man built by experience. Pappy Gunn was not a young hero chasing glory. He was over 40. He had served in the Navy and the Army Air Forces. He was a pilot, an engineer, and a mechanic. More importantly, he understood airplanes better than rulebooks did. And while he was fighting in the Pacific, his wife and children were prisoners of the Japanese in Manila. Every day the war continued. Was another day his family suffered. For Gunn, failure was not an option. The problem with bombers. Bombers were designed for one thing. Fly high. Drop bombs. Fly home. But ships were not factories. They moved. They turned. They fought back. Japanese deck gunners waited for bombers to dive lower. When they did, they were cut to pieces. Gunn believed the entire idea was wrong. Instead of bombing ships, bombers should attack ships. A crazy idea is born. Gunn looked at the A-20 Havoc bomber. It had a glass nose where a bombardier sat. It had small guns, too weak to hurt ships. So Gunn removed the bombardier. He replaced him with steel. Inside the nose, he mounted 4.50 caliber machine guns, all firing forward. Not for defense. For attack. The aircraft became a flying battering ram. Engineers said the plane would crash. Pilots said it would be uncontrollable. The first test flight nearly failed. The aircraft was nose-heavy. It struggled to climb. Gunn adjusted the balance by hand. Moved equipment. Trimmed the tail. The second flight worked. Barely. But it worked. First combat test. The modified aircraft attacked a Japanese airfield. They flew low, almost touching the trees. The guns fired non-stop. Enemy aircraft burned on the ground. Anti-aircraft guns were destroyed before they could react. The result shocked everyone. 0 losses. Commanders wanted more. Enter the B-25. The A-20 was limited. Short range. Light bomb load. Gunn needed something bigger. He chose the B-25 Mitchell. He stripped out the nose. Added heavy guns. Turned turrets forward. Then he added more. And more. Soon, the aircraft carried 14 forward-firing guns. When it fired, the entire nose shook. Ground crews laughed nervously. They called it Pappy's Folly. They didn't laugh after the first mission. The Battle of the Bismarck Sea. In March 1943, Japanese intelligence planned a massive convoy. Thousands of troops. Heavy escort. Bad weather for protection. They believed Allied aircraft could not hit them. The convoy entered the Bismarck Sea. At dawn, Allied bombers attacked. High-altitude bombers distracted the defenses. Then Pappy Gunn's strafers arrived. They came in at wave height. Guns fired first. Killing deck crews. Then bombs skipped across the water. Ships exploded from inside. Transport after transport burned. By the end, all Japanese transports were destroyed. Multiple destroyers were sunk. Thousands of troops were lost. The Japanese Navy never attempted another major convoy in that region. The war had changed direction. From impossible to standard. Back in the United States, engineers said Gunn's design was impossible. Too heavy. Too unstable. Too dangerous. Then reports arrived from the Pacific. Convoys destroyed. Losses minimal. Results undeniable. Factories were ordered to copy Gunn's design. New versions followed. Bigger guns. Heavy cannons. Stronger structures. The B-25 strafer became one of the deadliest aircraft of the war. The enemy gave it a name. Black Death. A personal cost. While Gunn was changing history, his family was still starving in captivity. Food was scarce. Medicine was gone. Deaths were common. Gunn flew mission after mission, hoping the war would end sooner. He was wounded during an enemy air raid. Doctors told him to stop flying. He refused. When Manila was liberated in 1945, Gunn ignored medical orders and flew in. He found his family alive, but barely. That moment mattered more than any medal. A quiet legend. Pappy Gunn never sought fame. He didn't care about promotions. He didn't chase recognition. But his ideas lived on. Gunships. Attack aircraft. Low-level strike tactics. All trace back to one man who refused to accept failure. Final words, perfect outro. This is War Era Records. We tell the stories history almost forgot. If this story moved you, like the video. Subscribe to the channel. Comment where you're watching from. Because heroes only live when we remember them.